go. I think I am live right now. I think I'm live for my birthday right now, and we're about to do a crazy story. Not a story. We're going to be speaking about this unbelievable opportunity right now.
Live on Facebook. 3, 2, 1.
We're live. We're live. We're live. Are we all live everywhere? All right. So I'm going to start.
Just make sure.
Everyone, give it a second. It's my birthday. Give me a minute. Just give me a minute. It's my birthday right now, everyone.
Say welcome to my birthday live stream.
Welcome to my birthday live stream, everyone. We're about to go deep into business brokering, and I'm super excited to just present right now because it's all about presenting the opportunity. So let's get this show on the road. We're live everywhere on all platforms. So why business brokering? Why did I choose business brokering? Why is that my career right now? And why do I think it's the best and most exciting career in the entire country? It's the best career ever. Why? I was a pizza delivery boy, 21, delivering pizza in Melville, New York, going house to house. And I've learned so much behind that counter in that pizzeria, how to deal with people, how to accommodate customers, how to really just make a good impression on customers to try to bring them back. And my boss at the time, who is still my friend this day, was just an absolute beast as a business owner. He was a young guy as well. And he took me under his wing and he taught me a lot. And I always respect him and I give him a lot of credit. So one day when I was on a pizzeria, one day when I was on a delivery, I met this business broker in Melville, and he was like, "Listen, you're a hustler, you're a young hustler, you can do well in this industry. I wish I started when I was in your age. Come sell pizzerias with me." And when he told me that, I was like, "What? I could sell a pizzeria? I could sell a restaurant? I'm just a pizza delivery boy." So I basically learned how to sell pizzerias while I was making $6 an hour delivering pizzerias, driving a hoopty. And some deliveries, the tires were flat. I had to put the spare on the tire in the middle of the delivery. It was so embarrassing. I didn't have any money, so living paycheck to paycheck, nothing. So, but I always knew that if someone else can be a multimillionaire, if someone else can be a billionaire, why can't I? I can do it too. In high school, I used to be skinny. I was never an athlete. I was always an athlete, but I was skinny. I worked out in college. I gained 100 pounds because I put the work in, a muscle, all natural. I put all the work in, and I know if I could do that in business, I could do the same thing in business. Did it in basketball, I could do it in business. So I found a mentor that was a business broker. He was probably 60. He was probably 70 at the time. And he brought me under his wing and he taught me so many things while I was delivering pizza. The best location is a corner at a light. Women don't want to drive past that. It's got to be a convenient location. He just taught me like the science behind business brokering. It's it's extremely important. The little things that he used to tell me. They need you more than you need them. That was a great line that he told me. Never be desperate. Take your time. So I've learned so much from this mentor while I was delivering pizza. And one day I just I did a drop note. He told me how to do drop notes, slip drop notes when I was delivering pies. I used to go to shopping centers on Sunday mornings at 5 a.m. before the stores would open and put slips underneath the doors. And the drop notes used to say, if you're interested in selling your business, I have a buyer right now. And then they would call me. And I got a pizzeria in Oakdale, New York. It was called Bello Bambina's at the time. And the guy called me and said he wants to sell. So immediately I told him I have buyers. I spoke to my mentor. I got it up on Craigslist. And I had like 5 buyers reach out to me. And I found the right buyer. And I made a $20,000 fee from that one deal. And that was my yearly salary as a delivery boy. So I told my boss, Joe, I'm like, Joe, I got to do this full time. I'm taking the leap. I'm getting my real estate license. And Joe was like, Mike, I respect you. And I know you're going to do big things. and good luck. And if you need anything, I'm here. So I was very lucky to have Joe as a mentor as well. So fast forward, I sold my first pizzeria. Then I sold my second pizzeria in Bayshore. Then I sold a restaurant in Huntington. Then I sold another restaurant in Huntington. Then I sold a car wash in Valley Stream. Then I sold another one, sold a car wash in Levittown. So then I bought a pizzeria with an investor in Dubai. That was a very cool time in New York City. And, I was running that and I was doing brokering out of that office. But brokering was in my heart. Brokering I knew was the best. This was in 2012, 2013. And then in 2015, I started Empire Business Management, which was just me at the time. And I brought on a couple of people. And, I was closing 10, 15 deals a year, 2015, 16, 20 deals, 17, 30 deals, 18. And then I brought on a couple other guys in 2019. And then, from there on, I just changed the name to Headstone in 21. And then we launched Headstone in 23. We did a full launch in 23. And now we're in 25 and we have almost 250 people that are brokering businesses under Headstone. And we're closing at least 2 deals every day at this point. So this year, I'm projected to do over 500 closings in businesses this year, probably more, but I'm being conservative. And all different types of businesses, from logistic companies to plumbing companies to pizzerias to laundromats, healthcare, car washes. The list just goes on and on. I'm getting into a car wash in Hawaii right now. That is a ridiculous deal. This place makes over $1 million in cash flow. And I'm going to get involved. And I think anyone that wants to invest should get involved in this as well. I'll be talking about that more tomorrow. But this business is just the endless opportunity right now. The stats are wild. There are 30 million small businesses right now in America. And 99% of them, there are 32 million businesses. 99% of them are small. And 20 to 30% are for sale right now. But 100% are always for sale. So there's just so much volume that you can do if you're a business broker. There's only 15,000 of us. So there's one of us to every 100 or 150 businesses. It's wild. There's going to be $80 trillion of wealth being transferred in the next 10 years, people. I want to keep preaching this. 80 trillion, not billion. I don't know if you know how big that is. And I'm doing this live because it's my birthday and I could do it. I love this shit. $80 trillion. That's why I'm doing it. And I want more people to join Headstone right now because it's just such an amazing opportunity. We're going to be going down to Miami and doing this in Miami soon. So we're going to have a mentorship in Miami. 80 trillion. Those are the numbers. 10,000 baby boomers are set to retire every day, and their kids don't want the businesses. So what do? They don't know how to sell their business. They don't even know where to go. Right? If you go on ChatGPT and you type in who's the biggest business broker, Headstone pops up first. And we're only in business for 2 years. Imagine the next 2 years. Join the train if you want to learn this game. Jump on the train. 10,000 baby boomers, 25% of them are business owners. There's just so much business to go around. Not only can you make a shit ton of money doing this, you can learn about all the operations. You can get involved in the deal. You can be an investor. You can control all the distribution. That's what we do. And you know what? We set the comps. That's another beautiful thing about our business. We set the comps in this business. So if a business owner says, Mike, that's priced too high, I think I could get more. No, you can't. You can't get more. I know what you can get because I've sold these companies before, and we got to go based on the comps. So we control the data. I also have every single comp that the SBA has done, over 4,000 of them in the last 2 years. So we really control the pricing. We push heavy seller financing. That is one of the best things about this business. There is nothing better about business. There's nothing better in business brokering about seller financing. You crunch the numbers. You know what the cash flow is after you do your due diligence. You know what the note's going to be. And you aim to get 20+% cash on cash returns on the business. That is tremendous. Obviously, you have to do a heavy due diligence when you buy a business. There's been many cases where the due diligence doesn't tie up, and you don't want to be in that position. So you got to do your due diligence. How to source deals? That's another question that a lot of people ask, and I can also answer questions on the live if there are any questions popping up. But how to source deals? There are so many deals. There's so many ways to source deals. You could source deals through a lead generation company, one that we launched that we're getting probably 50 to 60 sellers a week at this point. It's blowing up, that are interested in selling and want to sell. If you're interested in that, we have the seller leads for you, which is huge. We can show you how to monetize on your social media. You know how many deals I've made on my Instagram, on my LinkedIn, my YouTube. It's just endless opportunities on social media, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist. Who's here? There are so many opportunities. So social media, also drop notes, mailers. Those are other ways to find business owners. I send mail to businesses. I send drop notes to businesses. Drop notes are basically the same format that I put in the mailer. So there's a lot of different ways to source, hitting contact forms on websites, AI, the list goes on. Due diligence. I can get into due diligence as well because this is a very important topic in business brokering. How do you do due diligence on a cash business? Remember, all of these businesses are not exactly what they show on their financials. So if a business does $2 million a year, he's a small business. He's not going to show that he's doing it. It's just the facts. They're not going to show that they're doing the money. How do you get beyond that point and prove that it's cash flowing X amount? Prove that it's making $500,000. How do you get to that? What you got to do is you got to set boundaries with the seller first. You got to educate the seller. This is what I preach and teach in my company. You have to have a due diligence period where the buyer can come in as a customer. If the seller's not okay with them coming in as a customer in person, they could do it outside. They can count customers. They can go in after hours, count the cash. There's got to be a little trust factor. There's got to be a deposit put up. The deposit has to be refundable if the sales are within 10% of what we said they are. There's science behind the due diligence, and there's always a way to prove a cash business. I don't care what anyone says. A lot of brokers that come on, I need the data, I need the financials. Sometimes the cash businesses is better. A lot of people, they can get there and go on site for the due diligence and really learn the business before they buy it. So I really teach I really position I help the brokers position due diligence when they come onto Hedgestone. That's what we offer as well. Not only do we send them leads, we help them position and we teach them. And, confidentiality, that's another huge point that I want to bring up. So this is the number one thing that sellers want to hear when you're pitching them on selling their livelihood, right? You want to tell them that I'm protecting your business. I'm protecting your livelihood. Everything is confidential. If I bring a buyer to the business, they're obviously going to sign a piece of paper called an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, which has a non-circumvent to protect us, so the buyer can't go around. We tie them up with the non-circumvent. We get a copy of their ID, an NDA, and we get a proof of funds to make sure that they have the capital, because you don't want to waste your time. So you have to really understand the confidentiality of this business. It's not like real estate where you could just send them the address. Everything has to be done systematized, and there's obviously systems and processes doing all this with confidentiality. I brought in so many people to Hedgestone in the last 2 years. We have about 250 people. Again, today's my birthday, so I'm just doing this live stream because I just feel like it, and I want to just throw as much information out there as possible. Had so many success stories. A lot of people in real estate join. I've had, for an example, Hassan Mahmoud. He joined as a real estate agent. Came on to business brokering. He's absolutely crushing the game. His first year, he sold 15 businesses. This year, he'll probably sell 20 to 30 businesses. His partner, Fernando, as well. Phenomenal guys. They know the game, and they just know it. They just know it. Nick Martello, corrections officer at Rikers Island. Before I met him, knew nothing about business. Dude closed 15 laundromats his first year. He's made over $500,000 doing it. It's just so much the reason why I'm saying this, there's so much opportunity in this game. Whether you join Headstone, whether you do it yourself, learn this skill. It's very important. Christian Rodriguez, I can't even say enough good things about him. He is an absolute. I met him in 2019. He's one of my first brokers, and he is just the guy is just next level. Systems, processes, psychology, numbers. I think he closed 40 businesses last year. Brian Dunn on my team. I learned so much from him. He's just an absolute wizard. The guy is, a 9-figure guy. That guy is next level. So the point is, whether you're doing it with me or whether you're doing it yourself, get into business brokering. If you're a real estate agent, insurance broker, whatever you are, learn this industry. So let me stop. Is there any questions on the chat?
Paul was asking, how do I join mentorship?
How do you, Paul, do me a favor. Send me a DM me mentorship, and I'll reach out to you and we'll discuss. We're having a Miami mentorship. I have to call the company back, but we're also going to have another New York one as well. In my mentorship program, we started in late December. We already 3 people already closed their first deal, big deals, and they just learned how to hunt. So now they know how to hunt forever. And we have them every Wednesday. And it's just the energy in the room. And it's not even the energy. The people that join are just class of the art people. Everyone is a class A person in the mentorship meeting. I'm so blessed to have them in my life. It's just everyone's like-minded. We all want to win. We all want to make money. We all want to get better at life in general. We all want to be a better dad. We all just help each other. We pick each other up. And that's what we're doing. And we're selling businesses, and we're speaking to owners, and we're adding value to owners. Owners come into the mentorship program, and they're like, I want to join. I invited one of my clients into the mentorship program. They were sitting there like, sign me up. So it is the most outstanding program ever. So if you're interested in joining the mentorship program, DM me mentorship. This is not some social media influencer just talking. I have testimonials from everyone in the mentorship program. I can send them to you if you want to even see them, just for the proof of concept. What other questions we got?
Nick's Boy 786. His name is Sohail. He's asking if there's any gas station deals in Atlanta, Georgia.
Nick, I gotta check the system. I'm sure we have deals. But if you want to send me your criteria, anyone that wants to buy a business, send me your criteria. I want to buy gas stations. I want to buy med spas. I want to buy car washes. Wherever you want to buy them, send them to me, and I'll find you deals. I can get them on social media. I can get them to the lead generation portal. I can find you off-market deals. I can add you to my buyers club, which is tremendous. So there are so many things to do.
I got Brian069 asks, if you had to start all over today, what would be your first move?
That's a phenomenal question, Brian. If I had to start all over today, I'm gonna just basically dive into this industry. I'm not gonna expect to make millions my first year, but I'm gonna expect to just go out there and not be afraid to fail. That's the answer. Don't be afraid to fail, Brian. Whatever you want to do, go out there and just go full force. Because if you do that, you're going to fail. You're not going to fail. You got to perceive failures as lessons. And if you go into this industry, you're going to learn so much more than any other industry because you're learning about all different businesses.
_Nas_Esco. What's the requirements to be a business broker?
Great question, Nas. In 34 states, you don't need a real estate license to sell businesses, New York being one of them. In 16 states, Florida, California, you need a real estate license to sell businesses. So whatever state you're in, just, look it up. There's 16 states that you need a real estate license in, but you can sell businesses in other states, but just not those states.
Eliana is asking, what is the first step?
What is the first step of becoming a broker? The first step of becoming a business broker is just reaching out to me, send me your contact information, and I'll send it to you in an email. The first step I have everything and one-page teasers on step-by-step on how to get started. And I'll just give that to you. And if you like it, then, we can talk further.
I got Michelle 2614 asking if I'm a real estate agent, can I also do business brokering?
Absolutely. Michelle, a real estate agent knows about transactions. That gives you an advantage of starting in business brokering. If you understand transactions, if you understand buyer, seller, deal, putting them together, you can get started right away. You can stay at your real estate company. You can join Hedgestone. There's many options. Any other questions?
She also just asked one last thing. What are the major differences between real estate and business brokering?
That's a great question. So there are a lot of differences. Business brokering, there's a ton of moving parts. Let's put a restaurant out there, for example. If you're selling a restaurant versus you're selling a piece of property, a restaurant has gross revenue, so does a property, but you have payroll, you have food cost, you have insurance cost, you have advertising, you have credit card fees, you have electric, gas, water, garbage, liquor costs. So there's so many more moving parts in a business. You don't own the dirt. You have a lease usually, unless you own the property with the business. And every business is evaluated differently, not like real estate. It's not based on just a cap rate, income approach, price per square footage. There's different ways to evaluate different businesses. So just so many different businesses, and they're just different.
Pardon My Wave asks, if you're buying someone's business, are you buying their problem? Why would someone sell a business if it's doing good?
That's a great question, and you always want to ask questions like that. Some people want to retire. Some people been in business for 30 years, and they're just making money and they want to exit, and they're tired of going to work every day, and they want to have some freedom in their life. Some people are going through a divorce. Some people are having partnership disputes. Every single deal has a different narrative. So you got to take it deal by deal, but that's a great question.
Sunset Tours FL asks, what's the craziest thing a buyer or seller has ever done on a deal?
Who said that? Sunset?
Sunset FL, yeah.
Sunset FL. You're testing me right now. Let me think. I got crazy. I got stories that I can't even say on here, but I might as well. Just to get everyone hyped. I don't know. I got people trying to screw people left and right. At the closing table, fist fight breaks out with the partners. They decide. We took a year to close this deal. They decide at the closing to have an all-out brawl. Me and the buyers are like, what the hell is going on? And the deal just doesn't happen. And we wasted 12 months of it. That was a crazy story. A car wash guy tries to screw me over on a deal. I bring in a buyer. I sue him. I say, you're trying to screw me. I send him a loss. In our business, you got to be ready to fight. And this is fun, guys. And it's good to be part of Hedgestone because we always win. So we throw a lawsuit at him for trying to screw us on our commission. And on the back end, I make a deal with a buyer. And I say, you know what? Call the seller directly. I just need you to sign my commission agreement. You're going to pay me. You deal with him directly. They close the deal. I get paid. I tell the seller to go, and it's just so many stories, man. I can get into that all day. What else we got? What other questions?
Vegas Clay asked, as 26-year-old, how to get into business brokering and how to find a mentor.
Gil, you're looking at him right now, man. I have a mentorship program. Join the mentorship program. I'm teaching everyone. We can do it virtually. We can come in, and I'm actually going to Vegas soon. I can meet you. We could do a call. But this is the business to be in, whether it's with me or whether it's with anyone. Do it yourself. You got in Vegas. You need a real estate license. So you need a real estate broker. But the way to start is to go on YouTube. Look at my YouTube channel, Business Broker King on YouTube. I have so much valuable content on the channel that will just get you started. I have a course that you can purchase, or I can just go on my YouTube. Don't purchase it. Just go right on my YouTube. It's better. And there's also a free community in the description It's the WAP. Everyone who's on this live, go on the WAP right now. The WAP, there's a link. I'm doing free content. I'll show you how to start. I'll do videos on how to get started. So make sure you join that right now.
Eliana_Pez asks, what is the cost of the mentorship?
It all depends. Where are you based? Where is she based? Did she say?
She didn't say.
We can talk. Eliana, just shoot me a DM and we'll talk about it. Everything is a little flexible here and there. Good? Anyone else have questions? Seller financing, SBA. Anybody have questions about the SBA seller financing? 90% of deals are done through seller financing in small businesses. SBA is tough. We have the best SBA lenders in the game, though. If you need an SBA lender, reach out to me. If you need an insurance guy, reach out to me. If you need an attorney, I can give you good recommendations. Everyone that's on this, utilize my network. I've been doing this for a long time. I have top of the line people in my circle, and I will introduce you to them for free. Just my network is your network. I'm trying to give as much value as possible to everyone. Shoot me more questions. It's my birthday. Come on, I want more questions.
I have Brian B-Ball 26 ask, can this be done remotely?
Of course it could, Brian. Great question. I have so many deals where I've never met the buyer, never met the seller, and I still haven't met them. And I close the deal, and the wire just comes in, and it's like, oh my God. Most of our deals are like that when we never meet them. It's always good to meet. Like if you're local, it will help the deal out so well. But you could do this business without meeting a buyer, without meeting a seller, and that's how you scale. That's what I do. I just sit in my office and do deals now. This is my office, guys.
Beautiful Days Forever asks, how does seller financing work when doing deals?
Thank you, Beautiful Days Forever. I like that hashtag.
Phil Crawford.
Phil Crawford. He's new. I'm gonna have a call with him. He's impressive. He just joined Headstone. How does seller financing work? Seller financing is deal by deal basis. It's super, super creative. So every deal is different. I was going over this with one of our guys in the mentorship program today, Victor. So everyone here should download the app Bank Rate Amortization Calculator, and you can really plug and play numbers. Bank Rate Amortization Calculator, and you can plug in the amount of years, the interest rate, and you can play with numbers. So for an example, I know the numbers by heart today. $700,000 in seller financing, 5 years at 6% is roughly $13,000 change a month. It's about $162,000. The business cash flows $350,000. So that's why I came up with those seller financing terms. 5 years, 6%. It's about 13 and change, about $167,000 a year. The business is making, it's a med spa. The business is making $350,000. After paying that loan, the business is left with around $180,000 a year, and the buyer is putting up $500,000. It's a $1.2 million deal. So he's making about 37% cash on cash return. That's how I look at deals. So you got to crunch the numbers deal by deal basis. You got to prep the sellers. You got to prep the buyers before you do anything, and make sure they're okay with the interest, with the terms. Every deal is different. What else we got?
I think you hit all the questions.
Anyone else? Shoot me questions about different businesses, evaluations. Restaurants, what do they trade for? They trade between 1 and 2 time multiples. Pizzerias, they trade between 1.5 to 2.5. Very big ones trade at 3 time multiples. Full service car washes, they trade between 5 and 6 time multiples. Liquor stores, they trade 30% of gross revenue plus inventory. Supermarkets, they trade 4 to 5 times net income, 15 to 20 times weekly sales. Motels trade between 3 and 5 times gross sales. Hotels in big cities like New York, they trade price per key. I sold an $85 million hotel for $336,000 per key, closed deal. They also trade based on cap rates and NOI. NOI divided into the price. That's how you get the cap rate. What other businesses? What other businesses we got? Laundromats. They trade between 4 and 6 time multiples. Med spas. They trade between 3 and 5 time multiples. Supermarkets, 4 to 5, 15 to 20 time weekly sales. What else we got? Come on, hit me with more questions, people.
Natalie
What do you wanna know?
Steinberg asks, "Why are you so cute?"
It's for you, baby.
Paul again asked about liquor stores, and then you have someone else, CEO Jay French. Jamsky's his name. They're asking what businesses get the highest multiples.
Ooh, that's a good question. That's a really good question. I would say I've seen car washes in 2021, 22, 21. I've seen express car washes trade for 15 times. I know SaaS companies, subscription-based service companies like software companies that, they have recurring monthly, they can trade up over 20 times. So a lot of those technology subscription-based companies have great multiples. Express car washes, anything with recurring revenue, that's the answer, will trade for higher multiple. What else we got?
Has to be on fully. Moment you exit it, stop.
Okay. All right.
What else we got? What else we got?
You have people asking about underscore Nas Esco asks, "Are there any express car washes for sale in New York?"
There's I have self-service. Let's go over some deals. That's a good one too. I have 2 self-service car washes, not express. It's even better. Self-service is when the customers do all the work. Only 1 to 2 employees. I have 2 of them upstate New York for $2.5 million with the properties. They cash flow $400,000. So great deal. Seller is motivated. That's a good deal. We have express car washes in Jersey. New York, it's tough. It's a different market for, only upstate. I can find you express car washes. Just let me know where you're looking. What else?
CEO Jay French is asking about software as a service companies.
Yeah. So, subscription. Look up SaaS. So, subscription-based service companies. So basically, time and attendance company. You pay them a monthly fee, and they hook you up with all your time and attendance. A great company that I would recommend there is Time Clock Wizard. Definitely subscribe to them if you're a business. That's a perfect example.
Paul was asking about barbershops.
I love barbershops. I have a lot of boys in my barbershop. It's tough, though, because the barber that is cutting the hair, if he leaves, what happens, right? So if you have other barbers that are, there and are going to stay, then it may be worth it. But if the main barber is out, then you got to figure out, a transition period there, and then it can work. If not, it's tough. Is that it?
Any other questions?
Any other questions about different businesses, evaluations? Come on, someone stump me.
I don't have the name, but he's asking, can you describe what is the rollover strategy?
Great question. Equity rollover. So a lot of these big companies like plumbing companies, roofing companies, HVAC companies, these owners, they want a second bite at the apple. So they will sell 80% of their company. They'll leave 20% on the table. And then they'll get on board with these private equity companies that are giving them the 80%. And they'll start buying other companies in their field. And that's called a platform. They're building a platform. So they're going to roll over 20% of their company. They're going to take 80% from the private equity. And then they're going to start buying other types of companies. And then later on, they're going to sell everything to a huge behemoth private equity company. And then they're going to get a second bite to the apple.
Sam Kapoor is asking, what are the biggest myths in your industry? Can you bust some myths?
Myths? I like that, Sam. Come on, Sammy. Biggest myths. 10% SBA. That is the biggest bogus I've ever heard about. You're not getting an SBA deal done at 10% unless the stars perfectly align. Another myth. A lot of these buyers say, "Oh, money's not the problem." That means that A, they were born with a silver spoon in their mouth, or B, they're full of shit. Money is, if anyone that works their ass off, that's not what you say. I had someone say it to me last week. Price is not the problem. Get the hell out of here. Another myth. What's another myth? I'm pre-approved for a $5 million SBA. It's not about you. It's about the business. I'm pre-approved for five. Everyone's pre-approved for $5 million. Is the business going to qualify? Is the financials on the tax returns able to support the loan? Now, if you're strong, that will help. But still, it's about the financials. What else? What are other myths? What are other myths?
All cash transactions can't be done.
Yeah.
Businesses that do high cash.
Businesses. Oh, here's another myth. Businesses that have a ton of cash can't be sold. That's BS. A lot of these businesses are the best businesses. It's how you learn how to do the due diligence.
You have a question from Nas again is, what is your take on buying route businesses? What's the multiple on those?
I like route businesses because they're easier to close. There's no landlord. So it's just you and the buyer, right? And if there's a franchise, it's a franchise. The seller and the buyer. So routes, all different routes trade at different multiples. I sold a bunch of Pepperidge Farm routes last year, this year. 3, 4x on the higher stuff, 4x. FedEx, 4x. Tortilla routes, 3x. 4x. That range. In that range.
Nick O, the pro, Nick Ortiz asks, should I focus on smaller businesses first or go straight for bigger businesses?
Good question. I mean, it really depends. It takes as much energy to deal with a big business, than to do a small business. It's the same amount of work. But the issue, not the issue, if, it takes longer if you're going to do a 50, 60, $80 million deal than if you were going to do a $200,000 to $300,000 deal. So I would work on both, Nick. I would work on a few of the smaller deals to pay the bills, because those pay the bills, those happen quick. And then just try to work on a few large deals. So once you get those small deals in, your bills are paid, you get that one large deal, boom. Then you have a lot of breathing room. Then you could focus on larger deals. But you always want the small deals to come in because those pay the bills.
Young Honey Dawn is asking, I guess, to elaborate on funding.
Yeah. Funding is such a void in the business brokerage industry. I was sitting down with the supermarket owner yesterday, and 90% of our deals are done through seller financing. 90% of business cannot get SBA or traditional funding because they don't, what shows on their tax returns, it does not depict what their business is doing. So a bank can't read between the lines. So the only way to secure the funding is through seller financing. And you can't do both because the SBA is always going to want first position and the seller is going to always want first position. So you can't do both. So I really push to all my sellers, seller financing. You're going to defer your capital gains over time. You're going to get interest. We're going to open up a huge buyer pool for you where we're going to have bidding wars. And it just makes so much more sense. And if the collateral will be the business. And then maybe sometimes we'll get a piece of property for collateral as well. So you've got to push seller financing if you're looking to sell businesses. That's how you're going to get deals done.
I got a question from Victor Zayas asking, can someone buy a business using seller financing and then refinance the balance using SBA?
It's tough, Victor. And the reason why is everyone wants to be in that first position. So you could buy the business with seller financing, but then is the seller going to not want to get that interest? Is there a prepayment penalty if you pay the seller everything up front, set in that promissory note? So it's very difficult to do that. I would just strictly focus on seller financing. SBAs right now, 8 to 10%. Seller financing, I push between 5 and 6%. It adds up. There's no SBA guarantee fees. There's no appraisal, quick deals, and you get deals done. What else we got?
What's the commission on these deals?
Look at my hat. Look at my hat.
Example on $1 million deal.
Just kidding. I really love $1 to $10 million deals because I get this commission, everyone. Even on a $10 million, I might get 8 points on a $10 million deal, right? But, it's so hard to believe. You might not believe me, but that's the truth. I just picked up a huge company, a $10 million company. I got 8%. So anything 5 million below, definitely 10%. We closed a manufacturing deal, 5.5 million. We got 10%. We just closed a healthcare deal. We got 9%, 6 million. You know, if you're up to 5 million, you want to stay at the 10% mark.
Artist Shiva asks, what's the difference between doing this with a mentor or on my own?
Good question. So mentorship, you have my attention. If you're in the mentorship program, I'm going to really, every Wednesday, I focus with you, especially if you're local. You come into my office. I'm going to get a bigger office now so we can have at least 50 people in here. And we just train. We just go at it hard, heavy. And that's the mentorship program. We're going to get that one-on-one time with the group, with me, with my team behind me. Headstone, you can be put on a team. Headstone's phenomenal too. I have all the online courses. I have all the online education. I teach you step by step. Everything is in your database. Everything's in your dashboard. You're signed into the CRM. Headstone's set up like a well-oiled machine, but you got to do it by yourself or with a team lead. Mentorship is with me. What else we got?
We have a comment from Eddie First Choice. Don't cheat yourself. Get the membership.
Eddie's the man. Eddie joined this program. Eddie is just a beautiful person. I love Eddie. The guy is just, he owns his own business. He's learning this business as an ancillary business. He picked up a bagel store. It's a phenomenal bagel store, $169,000 in Nassau County, New York. It's a really nice shopping center. If you want a bagel store for under 200 grand, reach out to Eddie's First Choice. He joined the mentorship program. He's got multiple listings. He's going to close some big deals.
I think we're all caught up.
All right, everyone. Thank you for the questions. If you need anything, reach out to me. And let's go. Get out for this.